Morning world, it's Sunday the 6th of May 2018. It's about 11:30 in the morning. Big thank you to all of those people who have kindly replied to help me with my audio problems. I will be addressing this in the near future and I will try and reply to everyone individually. It may take some time. Thank you. Now, this is not your average astrology video, so if you're looking for hardcore astrology, then just leave it, because I'll deal with the astrology next week. Next week we're going to see such an increase, but just to get the basics out of the way, Mercury's now at the end, moving towards the end of Aries. Mercury's squaring Pluto now. Mars is finishing its conjunction to Pluto. It's already squaring Uranus. The moon in the sky is conjunct Mars and squaring Uranus. We're entering the crazy period as of today. Now, that's the astrology. There's riots in Pakistan, there's protests in Russia. The French are outraged at what President Trump has said. The NRA have banned guns from their convention in case someone takes a pot shot at the president or vice president, although it's okay to take pot shots at schools. It's okay to carry guns in schools, but not at their convention, which is great. And in Britain, they're making cucumber sandwiches in readiness for the wedding, which may or may not happen, depending on what else happens before then. World's going crazy. I started doing videos on YouTube 6.5 years ago in the hope that trying to get astrology out into the world, trying to teach the world astrology. I always wanted astrology to be taught in schools, and then I realised it's not going to happen in my life, so then YouTube happened, and I just thought, okay, let's do it like this, and it's taken off. But the world's got crazier and crazier, and I look at what's going on in the world now, and I think, what's happening? We seem to be reaching some type of crescendo of stupidity in many ways. I've always been an accelerationist. I'm also an evolutionist. I truly believe in human evolution. When I work out that we only use 1/4 of the brain, well, we use less, we use 18% of the brain when we're awake, 23% when we're asleep, and the rest isn't used consciously. It's like a giant organ waiting to be used. And when you add into this the accelerationist theory, there was 2 billion people on planet when I was born 60 years ago, 60 plus years ago. Now there's 7. So population's gone up 350% since I was born. When I was born, technology was a little black and white television. Now, look, I'm downloading this via YouTube and broadcasting to the world from my pokey little office in my spare room. Spirituality when I was a kid was going to Sunday school. Now it's pick and mix everywhere. Everyone's got their own version of their relationship with the divine. All of these things are escalating at an accelerated graph curve, and we're heading towards some type of prime vertical, at which point we either collapse in on ourselves, as has happened before, perhaps 12,000 years ago, or we transcend the perimeters of the graph and go beyond prime vertical into a different dimension of existence, where we actually end up using more consciousness, expanding our awareness, using more of our brain, and living more in empathy and harmony with each other and the world. Sounds very idealistic and a little bit twee, but actually it's the best bets we've got. But in order to get there, we have to go through some pretty difficult barriers. And it seems to me that the more positives there are in the world, the more people are nice to each other, the more it's kind of balanced by people being nasty to each other as well. And the human race, as we multiply, the dichotomies between us are getting more and more extreme. Whether it be guns, knives, whether it be love and spirituality, whether it be orthodox, conventional, forced religion, whether it be our own relationship with divine, however we choose it to be. Just when you think it can't get any faster, it keeps getting faster. But honestly, for the last, since about 2004, 2003, 2004, when Uranus left Aquarius and moved into Pisces, since that time I've been looking at 2018, and around about 2007 I started looking at May 2018, thinking, ooh, that's a trigger point. And now here we are. And honestly believe it, in the next couple of weeks there's going to be a level of change in individual and global lives and awareness that's unparalleled. It's something different to what's ever happened before. Now, there's lots of ways this can manifest, and I've done quite a few videos on this, and I will do a lot more this week. But the bottom line is that the human being, which is fundamentally different to any other species that's ever lived on planet. No other species can recognise itself in a mirror or find humour and laugh at itself. No other species has self-reflective consciousness. No other species kills itself for fun. We're different to anything that's ever existed on planet before. And that seems to me to be, we're either some type of invasive virus, or we're some type of experiment that's accelerating towards some point in the future, which is going to lead to some type of resolution, hopefully transcendence. And there's some type of magnet in the future that's calling us forward. May 2018 is very much a nexus point. And the developments of the next 2 or 3 weeks are going to go a long, long way towards shaping the future for all of us. And yet this is just the start of a process which is probably going to continue in the background through to September of this year, until Mars finally moves out of into mid-Aquarius and moves on. Honestly believe that the best thing we can do as individuals over the coming 2 or 3 weeks is not do a lot. The world's going to be going ballistic. There's going to be a lot of craziness out there. There's going to be a lot of headless chickens, and there's going to be a lot of, the media is going to be full of death, doom and disaster. There'll probably be quite a bit more geophysical disturbances, not just Hawaii and the earthquakes and the volcanoes, probably spread a bit more. And it's going to get pretty messy out there. So I think the sensible person is just going to go, you know what, we'll deal with this in a couple of weeks' time. To all of my friends and clients, I've been saying, look, just don't panic now. Stay stable, stay calm. There's enough crazy people in the world. The next few weeks are going to change everything. I hope I'm wrong. If I'm wrong, I'll do a Miaculpa in about 3 weeks' time and go, yeah, well, astrology doesn't work all the time. But I've been waiting for this one a long time. And I think that if we can do this right, if we can sort of deliberately choose not to overreact, if we can sort of remain to a certain extent objective and detached around what's coming up in the next few weeks, we're going to do our long-term consciousness the world of good, and we're going to upgrade a step in that drive towards that consciousness revolution that I'm dreaming in. It's not that far away before we do hit that actual prime vertical nexus point. I'm figuring we'll be hitting 10 billion people on planet around 2030, and at that point, well, let's put it this way, I'll still be alive then, I hope. And I think we're going to see some very interesting developments. It's the most exciting time in human history. And of course, every generation has always said that. But this one's the best so far. And it's a great time to be alive. So get out there and smile at people. Find the humour. My tag, as it's always been to those who've received the emails from me over the years, is that negativity can't exist where there's humour. So smile, even through the tears. Smile at people and they smile back at you. And the world's a better place. Simple, naive, yeah. What you got to lose? Smiling's better than frowning. Catch you on the rebound and back to the astrology videos tomorrow. Have a great weekend, folks. Bye now.